What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to the studio. As you can see behind me, there's a little bit of a problem. Now, I wanted a black water tank, but this is ridiculous. So this is my flag Acara and keyhole cichlid tank. We've also got a load of tetras and cories in there as well. Not that you would know it at the moment. So when I set this up, I used some wood that I collected locally. Now I don't know what the wood was. All I know is a hardwood, and it turns out it just does not stop leaching tannins. I've stopped changing the water because I'm hoping to get it all out into the water. I think now's time to do a water change, but if it keeps doing this, I'm probably gonna have to swap the wood out or even just redo it, because I like a black water scape, don't get me wrong, but this is ridiculous. I do actually need to clean out the filter as well, because there's not really any flow going on there, is there? So I'll clean that quickly, we get the flow, and then we see where we're at. So the fish, they seem to be doing absolutely fantastic. They're actually putting on really good size, and behaviour seems really good. Look at that cory darting up there. So I'm completely happy with that, and I'm pretty sure the environment is perfect for them. I'm gonna do a quick pH test actually, see what the pH is at. So it looks to be sitting at 6.4, which is no surprise then that the fish are enjoying it. Because these fish are actually from areas where the pH just drops anyway, because they get those floods, and then on the leaf litter brings in the tannins, probably like this. Obviously it's just constant coming through though. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it is for the fish. It's just, I can't see it, so it's not really very enjoyable to look at, is it? I can lower the tannins and the fish can still be enjoying it, and then we sort of both win. It's like an equilibrium. So the first thing I need to do is just get some water out of the tank, drop it right down and fill it up again. Now I've left it this long because I was hoping that it would release most of the tannins into the water by now, but you know, we'll see. To be honest, the plants aren't doing too bad at all considering the low light. They're like growing lows, especially those ones near the surface, but they've all grown up from low as well. So yeah, they're doing all right. Right, here we are with the water down. So everything's looking pretty healthy. The plants are actually a lot redder than I thought as well. So that's obviously just the tannins making it look darker. It's pretty clear at the bottom as well now. Just about to start filling it back up again. Hopefully this sorts it and it doesn't come back as strong. We want a bit of tannins, don't get me wrong, but I want to be able to see in. So that is the water change, the filter change. We're still a little bit misty because everything's got stirred up a little bit. I've also taken the Purigen out of the filter, and I am currently cleaning it here in bleach. Now this was put in from the start and it literally didn't seem to make a difference. First time I've ever seen that. With bogwood, perfect, but this wood, it's just, yeah, it didn't really work. Hopefully it will this time now we've like removed so many tannins from the wood. But saying that, I've got to wait till tomorrow before I can put that back in. It needs 24 hours and then it needs even more hours to take out all of the chlorine from the bleach. It's just a solution of bleach and water, and then I can put it back in a filter, but hopefully that's going to sort things out. Saying that, probably come in tomorrow and this will be completely black again. So whilst we're waiting for all that to get sorted, let me show you some cool stuff that's going on in some of my other tanks. So this tank right here is a bit of a plant farm. When I'm doing new setups, I can come in and take a little look and pick at what I want. But it's also home to all these black mollies and orange swordtails, which look so good. Now what's interesting about this one is that there are babies, quite a lot of babies as well. So down here, look, there's one of the swordtail babies. Now they're being a live bearer. It's not very like amazing to think that. Obviously they're gonna have babies because there's quite a few in there. They're all of a decent size now. But the thing that I'm finding really interesting is there's not a single black molly anywhere. Now I'm thinking this is because the swordtails are a bit more aggressive than the mollies. They don't tend to go for their own, but they must go for the molly babies, because look at the amount of mollies we've got in here. We've got a lot of males, we've got a lot of females. There will definitely be babies being born. But I have not seen a single one in the tank, and I've just seen loads and loads of the swordtails. Like, there's two right there in the same shot. I suppose it could also be that the black mollies babies aren't as intelligent, maybe. They don't stay hidden so long. I only ever really see the swordtail babies right down in this lower section, and they also like to sometimes be down right in and amongst all of this sort here. So that makes quite a lot of sense if that's the case. We usually see a lot more babies when I put some food in, so I'll do that just to have a bit of a count up and see what's going on. There we go, a good amount of food there. I also broke a load up in the water column so it's sinking down like that. So hopefully we'll see some more coming forward. Like I say, there's two there, and there's a third behind it as well, hidden in the back. Oh, there we go, more coming forward. There's one on this side. I just see one peeking around that corner. And there's one right up here, look, in and amongst all the other fish. But it seems to be fine, like it's not being picked off. Now these babies are definitely small enough to be eaten by the mollies and the swordtails, but they're not eating them. But something must be eating the mollies. It's got to be those swordtails. They are quite aggressive sometimes when you see them flashing across the tank and that. Yeah, I'm just coming in really close here, trying to scan everywhere, just looking for some little moving black dots. But I'm not seeing any, but you know, it's not a problem. It's just quite interesting, isn't it, how these tiny little tiddlers are surviving, thriving in fact, and not even being attacked. See, look at that big molly right next to it, didn't even go for it. I guess the mollies are being picked off. Loads are coming to the foreground now. Just sort of everywhere you look, you can see another one popping out. You look, go back that way, look, one in the middle. So we've got quite a few babies in there. I reckon there's a good 10 if I had to count up all over at the same time, which I did just do off camera, so hopefully we can keep that number going. It's good to have a nice number of babies. There's room for more fish in the tank, so we're all good. Okay, I take all of that back, I'm wrong. Look, there's one. I can see one. Maybe it's just that they're so dark that they're much harder to see, and the longer I'm staying still here, the more I'm actually seeing. I've just seen another one go down where that Amano shrimp is in the background there as well. So yeah, maybe that's all it is. It's just I'm not noticing, and my eyes are just completely drawn to the swordtail babies. I don't think there's as many though, but I could be wrong. It could be just much harder to see them. So I've now been looking for like 10 minutes. I've still only seen those two. So maybe that is true what I've been saying. They're picked off easier. But there's still some in there. That's really good to know. And my most recent build video is this one you can see behind me. It's a 4-foot ecosystem. I've tried to put together all the stuff I've learned so far doing these, combining it all into this one tank, and it's doing really, really well. It's actually a week old now. You only saw the video a few days ago, but it's a week old because stuff's a little bit behind, not too much. Yeah, so as you can see, there's a slight tan into the water. The water's nice and clear though. The wood is like not been used before, I don't think, especially that big piece hasn't been used before. I might have used that other one. It's leaching a little bit of tannins and there's no filter, so you're gonna get a little bit of that. A water change would cure it, but I don't really want to be honest. I just wanna keep it going. I wanna do no water changes because I just don't need to. I've checked the water quality every day and it's all good. The fish though, they're doing really, really well. They're completely coloured up, completely happy now as well. The purple Raspora, look at this one here, if I can get it to focus. The purple Raspora, look, they are just like so nicely coloured now, looking beautiful, really, really healthy as well. The CPDs are naturally as shy as ever. I swear these guys know when I'm filming them. So CPDs, they tend to want to just stay really close to the wood a lot of the time, or the collection of ferns. That's just what they do. I can get them to come out a bit with feeding. Probably would have been the best idea before I started actually filming this part of the clip. Sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. There we go, straight away, look, they're all going for it. They're actually getting used to me a bit more now because we fed 3 times, this is the 3rd time feeding. So I sort of tend to feed every other day, especially in like an ecosystem setup like this, where you don't want to just put massive loads into it, especially this early on. That said, I'm getting fantastic growth from the Limnophila. Look at that at the back, the background plant and the vibrant one. That's already hitting the surface over this side. Now that is the reason why this is such a good plant to be able to put in like ecosystem tanks or any new starting tank, to be honest. Even if you're not planning on keeping it for long term, if you stick some of this in there, it can really help with just setting everything up and getting it going. It's pulling so many nutrients out of the water to be growing that fast. It has to be. Now those nutrients are going to be nasties. It's going to be ammonia, nitrite, nitrates as well. But any of the fish waste, because it's not a filter, will be used by the plants. And this is why I go so heavy on my planting. It just helps massively overall with the complete health of the tank. Just to start with, starting your tank is going to be the hardest part, isn't it? So if you can get the plants to help you, then you absolutely should. I'm still really digging the light as well. I quite like the way it glows in the room. So like from all the way back here, look, you've got that nice little sort of glow. I don't know, I just quite like it. Not necessary at all, but yeah. Now, as always with some new plants, you will get a little bit of melt, but it shouldn't be on all the plants. So crypts are absolutely renowned for it. So look at this one. Not doing great, but you've got the little baby leaves all coming through. So that will just take some time and it will convert. But it's just one of those things that always happens with crypts. We're still not getting any runners yet on the foreground plants, but that's just because like a week is not really long enough for something like Liliopsis brasiliensis. It's not a massively fast growing plant anyway, but without CO2 and the fact that the roots are still working their way down to that nutrient rich layer, it's going to take a little while, but when it does start to take off, it's going to cover everywhere. And eventually this whole foreground section is going to be Liliopsis brasiliensis for sure. Now usually when I'm trimming my tanks, I'll just hack off the stems, take them out, put them somewhere else or store them. This tank I won't do that because I'll literally trim them and replant every single one of them. So we're doubling up again. I'll probably do that in another week because, you know, I still want to wait for some of them to settle in and also grow closer to the surface. So we've got some long stems to be able to go straight back in and it will still look good straight away as well. But yeah, to be honest, I could not be happy with the start on this tank. I can just tell straight away it's going to be an absolute winner. Stay tuned for the updates on this one. It's now been a day since I changed over the water. Where are we at? I was expecting to come in and be really dark, but that's not the case actually. So after I took out some of the water, I also removed some of the floating plants because obviously that's going to take out some of the light. I've still left a good amount though because they're doing a really good job of cleaning the water. If we come down now, you can see here, oh look, on the camera's adjusting to the light. Let me get it right. Okay, that's how I'm seeing it. And I'm actually really happy with this. If it stays like this, perfect. Like that's a proper nice black water, but you still got the colors popping through a little bit from the plants. And the best thing, I can still see all the fish. Look at this flag Acara here. I told you they're growing. That's much bigger when I put them in. Keyhole cichlids, again, getting much bigger, getting more of that sort of pronounced rounded face. They're such cute little fish, aren't they? Look at that. Now I was going to trim these background plants here. I quite like the way they're looping. The only problem is, again, they're going to cut out a little bit more light. But what I'm hoping is that won't matter because I haven't even put in the Purigen yet. So it's still recharging, not quite ready, but it's pretty much there. And then I'll be able to clean that off using dechlorinator. I'll just stick in a load of Aqua Essential and some water and we should be able to clean that out, and then you've got to leave it for a little bit of time. You've got to take it out and smell it. If it smells of chlorine, it's still not ready, but yeah, just don't put it back in until it's fully like clean and not smelling. Now I'm thinking once that Purigen goes in, one of two things will happen. Either it will get even lighter and sort of clear up a little bit more, or it'll hopefully stay where it is now. Fingers crossed, because I can't have it going that dark again. If that happens, I'm gonna have to change it. I'll have to do something. I'm not one to adjust tanks, so I'll probably just redo it. With all the same fish, but like using different wood and whatever. And for those of you that didn't know, Timmy is getting a new home, aren't you, fella? Yeah? Yes, you are, look. But you're not being fed because you've just had some, you porky. So yeah, he's got a sort of natural boggy vibe going on at the moment. We can do better than that though. He's completely happy in here, don't get me wrong. He loves it, look at him, loving it. But I am currently working on this. So it's all custom done. It's basically a tank laid on its side with expandable poo. No, this is all locked in now. It's been a good few days. It's absolutely solid. What I now need to do is carve off all of this with a razor, which is going to take some time, but it's going to be worth it. Get it a little bit more flatter, but not completely flat, still sort of textured. And then I'll cover it in silicone, and then I've got this like bark stuff. Yeah, I've got this, look, it's like a, I don't know what it is, compact tropical terrain brick. Basically, you take it out of there, mix it with some sort of water, I think, and then it expands. Well, I'm not going to mix it with water, I'm just going to break it all up so that it can go all over the top of all the silicone, and that'll keep it locked in. Then I can even make little holes and stuff for plants to go in, so we've got like a living wall background, if you like. Obviously, it's not going to be sat like this because the water wouldn't stay in, would it? No, this is the view, you see. So he's got like a basking area, which will be really nice for him. but there's also still all the space for plants and everything on the bottom. Now I'm saying for plants because I'm hoping I could be able to put some crypts. There'll definitely be some moss, because as you've seen from the bog, he loves that. He loves wading through it all, hiding in it. Turtles aren't the most sort of social animals. They will try and hide away a little bit when they can and just come out in their own time. So I'll be able to give him that environment. Hopefully the crypts though, I can put them deep enough. I might put some plant weights in the bottom so that he won't dig them up. He only tends to dig at the front of the tank, so he should be all right. Right, I've got some fantastic news over at the rainbow fish tank. Well, not at the tank, but it's to do with the tank. So I've just done a massive maintenance session. I didn't film it because you guys have seen me doing that before. Look at my healthy beauties. Look at the colorations. Looking so good. So a little bit of sunlight is coming in and hitting them. It's just giving all their colours a real nice sheen. And it's the afternoon. These guys aren't normally even coloured up in the afternoon. But look at this bozeman. No, there we go. Look at that. Look at him, looking so good. I've got 3 gorgeous bozeman rainbow fish. There's the other one going down the back there as well. But anyway, why am I telling you about these guys? Well, ages and ages ago, I took out some floating plants from this tank and put them in the shrimp owls tank, which is of course this one here. And I've had these 2 little babies floating around now for about a month or so, maybe a little bit longer. And I've now worked out what they are. So I'm pretty sure if they stay still for me, come on. I'm pretty sure they're baby rainbows. Look at that shape. Anyone who knows about these, let me know if you think I'm right. I can't think of anything else that they will be. Is he gonna pop out? There he is. Look at that shape. That's gotta be a rainbow, right? Now we've all bred live bearers, haven't we? You basically just chuck them in a tank. I've had a bit of success with cories as well before, but I have never ever bred any of my rainbow fish, and I've had them for a long time now. To have 2 babies, albeit by complete accident, is really, really exciting for me. I think what's basically happened is they've got caught in the, in amongst the floating plants. As I've scooped them out, I've put them in here. They're obviously taking refuge there from the adults because the adults would absolutely eat them, I'm sure of it. Otherwise there'd be loads of babies in there now. But yeah, this is great news, really happy with it. So there we go guys, a nice little update for you there. We've got another build video coming shortly. Yesterday I was at the shop with Matt. We've got a new tank, 3-foot tank we've done in the shop. So looking forward to giving that to you at the weekend. See you later.